Welcome everybody to this Helpful Village release webinar of July 16th. Let's talk right away about the agenda of the meeting. So we always do some quick reminders at the beginning of the meeting. Then we'll be discussing some new features. I don't know if we have some news also to show you. And then a discussion if there's Q&A or demo or something like that that you want to discuss about. So this is where we start with the reminders. Today is July 16th. We have a Helpful Village release webinar. We're announcing new changes to the software. There is another webinar next week on the 23rd at the same time, which is a Q&A webinar. Instead of us talking, it will be you talking, asking any questions you might have, and then we will try to answer your questions next week. There is another release webinar on the third Wednesday of the month. That will be 20th of August. That's for the next month's Helpful Village release webinar. There's a number of resources that we always like reminding you that they exist. There is a Helpful Village Training Docs Guide, which is kind of a table of content of all our training documents. There is a Helpful Village Help Center that hosts all our training docs. And then there is a Slack collaborative website where you can ask questions to other villages and basically interact with other village leaders and with our team. As for the Q&A webinar next week, we always collect questions that you send us. We invite you to send these questions ahead of time to this email address. It's hvusers@helpfulvillage.com. When we receive emails on that channel, basically they go to Anastasia. Anastasia puts them in a Google document where basically we have a list of questions we want to discuss, and then basically they get scheduled, and then we treat them one by one in these Q&A webinars. These Q&A webinars are recorded. This webinar is also recorded, and they are available on YouTube. This is a print screen of the Help Center. The Help Center is an interactive knowledge base, basically where you can search any question you might have, and it's going to look into our collection of training documents. It's also the best way to submit a ticket. So on the top right, you see a submit a request link that allows you to ask a question to our team or report on a bug or something. That's the best way to do it. There are two different websites. When you are reporting a bug, we invite you to do it through the Helpful Village Help Center. That is support.helpfulvillage.com. If you have, rather than a bug or a problem, you want to submit a new idea or an improvement, you can do it on a different website. That is ask.helpfulvillage.com. These also some quick reminders about support and tickets. Something that helps us serve you better is if when you're reporting a ticket, instead of just saying, well, I have a problem, please help, which we get some tickets that say that, it's better if you can use a clear and descriptive title about what the problem is about, because when you do that, it's easier for us to classify those tickets and group them and answer quicker. And then also provide specific details. It's really hard when someone comes in and says, well, this particular feature doesn't work. Well, in which way, for what user? So if you can give us the name or the email address or how to reproduce the problem, we can reproduce it on our end instead of having to come back to you and having to ask you to explain what the bug is about. Okay, and then there is one reminder also. We have been spending some time, actually Anastasia has been spending some time sending emails and contacting some of our customers that had some outstanding invoices. So we waste some time every month doing these kind of tasks, and that's why Anastasia is working hard on trying to get more customers on automatic payments. This is possible to do. It's a convenience for us. It saves our time to our team, but it also saves time to you. You don't need to go to the post office. Just quicker and more efficient to do payments in this way. There's a training document that on our help center that explains how to set up the automatic payments. If you have trouble doing that, you can also send an email to Anastasia, and she can get on Zoom and do that with you. It's basically, you can contact Anastasia either through support@helpfulvillage.com or anastasia@helpfulvillage.com. And with all those reminders taken care of, we are going to discuss about the release notes. So the thing that has kept us busier this month is optimizing the memory usage on servers. I'm sorry, it has very techie intensive work that we're presenting today. So basically, we have been working on our code to reduce the memory consumption and the system performance of our reports. This is something that doesn't change anything to your functionality, but it will have some clear benefits for you as a user. We had realized that sometimes the system was getting slow or even crashing from time to time when we were running large reports and things like that. So we really want to have our service up and running 24/7 without interruption. So we have been working on our code so that we make it more memory optimized. So basically it's more stable and basically the servers keep running all of the time. I can give you, you don't need to remember any of these memory optimization features. It doesn't change anything to how your village operates, but they wanted to give you some example of what has kept us busy. This is one example of a memory intensive process that we had. We send a daily volunteer email that is customized. So basically for each active volunteer in your village, we're going to look up different service requests that are matching their skills so that we can send them out. In the first way, I mean, the natural way to do this is like we were loading the list of all active volunteers in your village. For a large village, that can be up to 500 people. And then we put that in memory, and then we're going to look all the service requests that these people can do, and then we put all of that in memory, and then we put that into different emails that go out to different people. But we were loading all that information in the memory of the server. And we are implementing some optimization techniques that I can show here that are pretty natural. Instead of loading the 500 people, we can do something that is called in IT, kind of loading them by batches. So we do a batch of 50, we take 50 volunteers, we look at their service requests, then we clear the memory, and then we go process the next 50, etc. So it's something that is quite natural and easy to understand. It's just something that you need to see that, I mean, in programming, um, just a better way to do this and take care of this memory consumption that we have our servers being more stable. So by doing this, we reduce the memory usage. And that gives you more stable and faster servers. And then basically for that reason, you get a better service in the end. So that is something that has kept us busy. It doesn't change anything to your day-to-day work, other than the fact that you will have quicker service and more stable servers. This is another example for the techies in our audience also, the way we were producing reports. Same thing, so there are different ways to do this. One kind of the more simple way to do it is that you can produce, kind of pull up all the event or event participations, load that into the memory of the server, and then put that into a CSV file that you can download. That's what we were doing before. But same thing, we realized that we wanted to have more stability in our servers. So rather than using this basic approach, we're doing a better way, which is using a temp file, a temporary file, where instead of loading all the information into the memory and then put it into a file, just incrementally put that into a temporary file, or we can write it line by line so that we consume less memory on the server. And then basically just it's a smarter way to process all this information. But again, you don't need to remember any of this, but we really wanted to be transparent and we wanted you to know that there will be changes in the stability and the speed of the code, and we wanted to give you some explanation what it was. We have spent a lot of time working on all the reports that we produce. That's over 100 reports that are available. So we have gone over each one of the 100 reports and rewriting them in a more memory efficient way. So anyways, that's all for the very tech intensive explanations and the larger amount of work we have done. For the rest of the improvements that we're going to discuss in the webinar, they are all more feature related. So all the more important stuff starts now for you. One of the improvements we did this month is about the monthly donations. So when you go, a person goes online and they create a new donation, they can choose the amount. And then there is this checkbox you can see right under the amount that allows them to make this a monthly donation, so that there is this amount that is withdrawn from the donor account every month. We had this before, except Stripe has changed their code, and they wanted us to implement this monthly donation in a different way. So we needed to adapt the code from Helpful Village so to make sure that we are compatible with the new rules that Stripe is implementing. So we just now have a new way to run monthly donations, and that will be deployed to your server this month. Okay, this is we have also done some navigation changes to make it easier to use the software. So in the past, this is maybe something for the older villages you haven't done in a while, but for the newer villages, maybe you were aware of this. Before, if you wanted to connect your Helpful Village platform with Stripe, you were supposed to go to reports, reporting docs, and then at the bottom there was a button that you can use. It's actually this button here that says connect credit card payment with Stripe, but it was in a weird place, and we were spending too much time explaining people how to find it. It was just more natural to move it to settings. So now from now on, if you want to check on the basically the Stripe connection of your Helpful Village platform, you just can go to admin settings, then the Money tab, and under the Money tab, you will have the possibility to check if your account has been connected with Stripe or to actually connect your Helpful Village platform with Stripe. So just move this button to a place that makes more sense. In a similar way, we have also moved some of these functionality. So if you go to the admin menu, so if you go to the menu and then admin, under admin, you recognize people management and services management that we had before, and we added now a new menu item there that says financial management. Under financial management, you can find the interactive list of, in a submenu, payments, donations, fundraising campaigns, and IOUs. So the menu was slightly different before. You had, instead of financial management, you could find there the fundraising campaigns. But then if you wanted to find the list of payments before, you were supposed to go to admin reports, reporting docs, and then at the bottom of the reporting docs, you could find the list of payments. So it was possible to find them, but it just didn't make all that much sense. So we just reorganized the information. We think it makes a lot more sense to have a dedicated space for financial management where you can find your interactive list of payments, your interactive list of donations, your fundraising campaigns, and your IOUs. So this same functionality, but just the navigation has been enhanced to make it easier to find it. Yes, and then we have another improvement that we made, and maybe I thought we had the slide and we don't see it here. So I'm going to show them to you on the demo site. First thing is that we added here under people management. If you go services management and you go under financial management, you see this new menu that I said before. You have payments, donations, and fundraising campaigns. So here, if you click on payments from now on, it's going to display all the payments that have been received by the village in different pages. Same thing, financial management, donations. See all the donations that have been coming in. And then fundraising campaigns and IOUs is the same. We did another improvement, but just kind of a more design improvement. It's a question that was a little funny. When you go here to the calendar view, let me see if I go. Yeah. So basically, actually, I don't know if you remember. If you go today to your current website and you see your calendar of events, you will see that your buttons here had this front arrow and the back arrow. This allows you to navigate to the next month. These are the events of July, and this is August, uh, July, September, and these buttons were active. But then this other button here today is something that was well, actually it's just easier to show it. Let me see where can I show this. Let me do this. I think one of the newer villages that we are doing a demo, if you went to the calendar view, same place. You see here that the button was grayed out. So that was kind of actually supposed to be a feature of the calendar view. Because you don't need, it meant that the today button was deactivated if you're in the present month, right? You were in July, so today was not, you don't need to press on it. And then if you go to the next month, then the button was activated. But many times, even when you're on the present month, this button, because it was grayed out, most people were coming back to us saying, well, this button looks weird. It's like it's not working or something. So now what we do in the new version, it's just that the button looks normal all the time. Even if you're in June, then you have the today button that is activated. If you go to July, it's also activated. So it's just a little usability improvement this month. And that is essentially all the changes we did this month. So there is a few changes that we showed with navigation and presentation. Really, the bulk of the work this month has been on optimizing all the reports for memory consumption and basically speed of execution. So I obviously cannot necessarily run those reports with you during the call. It's just run quicker, but you wouldn't see any difference and less memory consumption. So at this time, those are the changes that we had today. I can give you just one or two lines about the improvement we're working on for the month of August. So one of the things that we'll be working on is that when you are collecting membership payments, you have the possibility, let me look for that. For example, oops, the demo. If I search for a person, if I look for an active member, I have the possibility to renew the membership. And when I renew the membership, basically we're offering today the possibility to compensate credit card fees as an option, for the member when they're renewing. And they can, pay the amount of the membership renewal, and they can add a little extra to cover for the credit card fees. We're gonna add a setting because some villages have asked us so that we made that checkbox mandatory. So it will be an option. Your village will choose if they want to set it up as an option or if they want to set it up as mandatory in case this payment comes in as a credit card payment. So this is not coming out this month. This is not in the July release, but it will be in the August release. The fact that you will choose if you want to have mandatory credit card fees for your payment, your membership payments and renewals, etc. So that's what we have for today. I don't know if you have any particular question about anything we discussed today, or if there is anything in the chat. I don't know, Anastasia, if you saw something in the chat. Uh, there is a question on the chat, so I'm happy to answer that one. Yeah, so basically the database we use a relational database, and the database we use is oh God, what was the name? Is MySQL. So MySQL is type of database is owned by Oracle. And and it runs on the AWS server. So Amazon Web Services. Perfect. Then I don't know if we have any other questions we want to discuss today. We have a more organized Q&A session next week. So we can also stop the webinar here for today and then just go with the standard Q&A process next week. That works for everybody. Shall we do that? Anastasia, did I forget anything about what we want to discuss today? No, we're good.
No, we're good.
Okay, perfect. Then I wanted to thank you, everybody. We will post the recording on Slack for all the improvement that we have this month. And then the changes will be on your server starting this weekend. So if you see anything about some of the report, we did a lot of work touching 100 different reports. So if you see anything unusual in the reports, just please let us know and we will fix that as soon as possible. Okay, thank you, everybody. Enjoy your summer and talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Have a great day.
Great day.